G'day and welcome to Lawn Care Skull Sessions. I'm Ben from Catch Pro Australia. This is BJ from TBL Property Maintenance and the LLE Lawn and Landscape Equipment Expo Event Extravaganza.
You don't even know the fucking name. It's Lawn and Land Equip Expo. You know, it takes a bit of getting used to, so call it the LE Expo.
I came close.
You said landscape. I think everyone says landscape.
What is it? Lawn
and Land Equip Expo. So it's a bit of a mouthful. That's why it's the LE Expo or LLEE. Don't forget to fucking preregister.com.au.
LLE is easier.
It's way easier. If we get over 1,500 people attending in Melbourne, I'll tattoo my foreskin with LLEE.
Whoa.
I've got so much foreskin.
I
could probably put the whole fucking Lawn and Land Equip Expo on it.
I don't have any foreskin.
Do you want some?
I've got a knob.
Oh, good on you.
You could probably tattoo a full stop on.
We would fit together perfectly. Doc Brothers.
Yeah, just slide right in. Anyway, it's
what a way to start, Ben.
Always. It's weird that we've gone back to back for once.
Yeah, fucking oath.
So, and realistically, there probably isn't going to be an episode next week, right?
No. Well, I'm flying back down to Melbourne on Thursday morning. So, yeah, we just got back. I don't even know. I think yesterday. No, day before yesterday, Wednesday. So we did a little whirlwind trip with the kidlets down to Melbourne to check out the site of the Melbourne show. Fuck, it's cool, dude.
It looked really cool.
It's like a massive warehouse. Like there's ads been shot there and all sorts of shit. Like, you know, cars been doing donuts around all the poles and like it's huge. So we can fit full semis in. So yeah, all the back doors open up and they said we can run.
Vicky?
Like me. But yeah, they said we can do demos inside and yeah, stay out of that fucking Melbourne weather. But you know what? We got home and, you know, everyone kept messaging me before we went down saying, hey, you know, dress warm. It's cold here. Fucking got off the plane back in Brisbane. Holy shit. It's fucking freezing.
She been chilly.
She's fucking freezing up here. Like it was cool down in Melbourne. I'm not going to lie, but when I got up here, the fucking wind just ripped straight through.
I mean, I haven't been outside a lot because it's been windy.
I hate the fucking wind.
I'm like one of those dogs or animals that just can't handle the wind.
Like you just stop pissing outside.
No, I don't do that here.
I don't. Yeah. Oh,
I mean, I do, but there's, you know, like I don't do it like
actively.
No, well, there's nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I just piss on my new fence or something.
We've got we got Archie into the habit. Like when we were toilet training, if someone was in the toilet upstairs, because like our downstairs toilet is really far away, and you know with kids they're like, I gotta go now. There's no time to waste, so we'd fucking just be like, get out the front yard. So we got a big fence and everything, so no one could see him. But yeah, that was our potty palace for a while.
Yeah,
you did a good job.
I mean, that's the easy thing with boys, right?
Oh, so much easier. Side of the road, here you go. Easy. So we took the kids down, which was awesome. Checked out a few bits and pieces in Melbourne, went to Sea Life and went to the mall. Archie saw his first fucking crackhead. Oh, that was wild. This bitch was like a fucking velociraptor. She was going off. She didn't like Asians, which in the mall in Melbourne, there was a lot. And she was targeting them, and I felt so horrible. These lovely people were just taking photos of themselves, and she was just like, "Yeah, fucking disgusting," just fucking going for them, just like literally. Wow. She like hunched over like a raptor, you know, like in Jurassic Park, how they like run.
Yeah,
she was like that, and then like obviously I'm pissing myself.
She probably
laughing.
Thought she was going so fast too. Eh?
Yeah, she was like in slow mo. So I thought it was funny because she was fucked. And she'd put herself in that situation. And anyway, we went inside the mall and Lou and the kids turned around and Lou was like, oh my God, that was wild. And I was like, man, she's cooked. And all of a sudden we heard her behind us and I turned around and she's velociraptoring to me. And I'm like just laughing. And I turned around and my whole family just disappeared. They were gone like a fucking flash. But Yeah, she stopped. She pulled up. I took my fucking Akubra off. I was like, hey. And she stopped.
Don't let them touch you, man. They're full of diseases.
Me too.
So we actually have a pretty cool topic today. And we're going to be talking about what makes a good mower dealer.
Mm-hmm.
Shops, customer service, servicing parts.
Yep.
And what they're stocking and things like that. So it should be a fun episode, Beach.
Yeah, dude. It's something that, we all need is a good local dealer. It's all about the interactions. I guess really a good dealer can make or break a business, really. Like at the end of the day, if you can't get your machines on the road as quickly as possible when you've had a breakdown or something like that, you're in a bit of strife.
Yeah, and there has been a little bit of chatter about some dealers that I have seen on LMCA lately about, paying X amount for a service and things like that. And, I think when I was an operator, we had a good dealer that was very, well priced. And, but now that I'm on the other side of this, I was kind of thinking about even just a normal service. And, if you get your blades changed and oil and stuff, there's so many extra things that actually goes into it, which we'll unpack a little bit later.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to dive into some of this stuff. Now, I see you don't have any notes with you.
No, I got nothing.
I also don't have any notes.
I know what I like.
What time was it last night that we agreed to do this?
I think I messaged you at like 8:30, and then you messaged me back at like 10:30, and you were like, "Ma, I didn't see this message," and then we organised a hook up. So
I was up till 1 o'clock.
Were ya? Were you?
Yeah. So one of my daughters fucking rolled herself in this same thing as she did last year, and it's like it's like all the primary school students do like this big concert thing.
Is it like an Ested? Is it an Stedford?
Or
like that thing that used to pop up on TV randomly, like where
it's called CGen, like creative generation or some shit. And anyways, the shows are at night.
Yep.
And Vicky and my daughter Mia were going to go and get her, and we wanted Nellie to go to sleep because she was going to be rat shit. And she just fucking screamed.
Yeah.
Because she couldn't go with them.
Yeah.
It was like just after 8 when they left, and I was like, Nellie, there's no way. Anyways, the show ran 55 minutes late.
Oh, fuck.
And Vicky and the twins got back at like, I don't know, it was like 10:15 or something.
Holy shit.
Nellie did go to sleep, so it was all right. But, by the time they got home, they were hungry. Then that made me hungry. And the night just fucking kept going.
Yeah.
So
I don't even know. I think I actually went to bed under my own power last night.
I had a nice relaxing night. I just lit a fire inside like the fireplace.
Yeah.
And just chilled out on my computer.
Oh, fuck, you'd be loving that fireplace the last week or two.
I burnt my foot because like I was all rubbed up, had Ugg boots on and that, but the fire was just getting so hot. So I kicked them off.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of had my feet like my legs crossed, kind of hovering over, and it just dipped down too low. I copped the maddest stinger on my tootsie.
Oh no! And the worst thing is, like your feet, like they don't heat up instantly. Like you don't realise that.
Oh no, it wasn't that.
It was a proper.
I touched the fireplace.
Did you hear a sizzle?
Not really, but that's what it kind of felt like.
Oh, that's when you know you're fucked up when you hear that. Oh, yuck.
Sidebar.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have it anymore because I'm tattooed. But one night when we were on the piss, I had no idea. Like I was just talking to someone, and I think we were swimming by the pool at this place. And yeah, one of my mates had an oxy torch and just heated up like a key and fucking sizzled me, branded me. And I actually had a key on my arm.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it just burnt the flesh instantly.
Was it Millsy?
It was either him or one of those fucking jerks.
Straight away, I was like,
made me look tough in front of the chicks.
Yeah, that's
I was
sick.
just like, oh fuck.
Why the fuck did you do smileys on yourself? back in the day?
Never really, no.
Didn't you?
I never
don't
really
know.
self-inflicted. I just self-pleasured.
Yeah, I got smileys where you can't see them. Nah, yeah, that was a thing for a little while there. You weren't cool if you didn't have a smiley.
Yeah, I never really bought into that stuff.
Maybe it was a Wynnum North thing.
Well,
There's a pube on the roadcaster.
that ain't mine.
It's mine. It's
It
grey.
might be one of Vicky's.
It's grey as fuck.
Actually, I'll tell you a quick story. One more sidebar.
Yeah. No, because they're all coming to me now. I'm just like, "Brr."
Buddy, this morning, Nelly, my youngest, she dacked Vicky. And she just had tracky dacks on with no knickers. And like I was just standing right there and I was just like, now this is my wife, right? But I still very much enjoyed looking at it. And, you know, Vicky full cracked the shits and Nelly was laughing. And like I didn't have like I didn't laugh, I wasn't inappropriate or anything. And like I just didn't really say, like I kind of only just woken up and I was just like, fucking hell. And yeah, Vicky's like, you know, say something, Ben. And I was thinking like, no, I fucking like it.
Wait, that's your fucking family. That's a thing. Like dacking is like a tradition.
It's
Dude,
so mean.
I didn't know until like I met my wife, because obviously we're, you know, connected through family. And when I met Lou, she's like, yeah, fucking this side of the family, like
Yeah.
dacking is a thing.
So
I was like, oh shit.
My cousin,
Every time I go to one of the family events, I try and stroke some fucking meat into it. Just in case.
I've seen my cousin dack my like 85-year-old Umar,
Oh no.
who has passed away now.
Oh god.
But we are a very inappropriate family. My mum, who doesn't like get the whole dacking thing.
Yeah.
Like, she obviously married into the family.
Yeah.
And she's very proper in that. And she still does, like when she wants to decorate a Christmas tree, like we still all have to go.
Yeah.
So we make it like a little family thing, and you know, the grandkids now. Anyways, a couple of years ago when the twins were really young, I saw a golden opportunity when Mum was trying to put the angel on the top of the tree.
And I know your mum too, so this is just playing out in my
I
head.
just fucking went for it, eh?
What did your dad do? Was he just like, same as you this morning?
He's blind in one eye, so he can't see shit. So, yeah, my sister's husband was probably not very, you know, I mean, he's like the outsider, if you know what I mean. Anyways, enough about the Van der Geese and dacking.
Family traditions.
So, anyway, unfortunately, we can't really do it because Nelly just doesn't understand, like, when it's appropriate and, you know, when it, like, it's funny and then, you know, like she dacked me once and I just had me pants around my ankles and I was like, haha, you know, and then she's full dacked my undies as well. I was like, nah, too far.
Too far.
Yeah.
Like at South Bank or something.
Well, I mean, gee. Yeah.
Imagine
See, that's the thing. That's the thing. You can't, you know.
Yeah. Nah, we don't have any funny traditions like that. I guess like getting mad maggot when I was first with Lou. I think maybe that was a tradition with her dad. I can throw it up in the gutter. Yeah, Lou, don't leave me.
Oh boy. Anyways, on to the dealerships.
Yeah,
now,
dealers.
we're going to be talking about mower dealers. Some people might think that this is like a conflicting subject for Catch Pro Australia.
Well, you have a totally different interaction with dealers now than you used to. And
Absolutely.
in some regards, so do I, because, you know, like I speak to dealers all over Australia now, like, hey, you want to come to the show, make sure you send one of your mechanics, blah, 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 you know, see what it's about. But like last night I was talking to Alex from Heidelberg down in Victoria. So, and they are sending one of their mechanics along to the Melbourne show. Unfortunately, they're Husqvarna dealers, so they can't actually come because Husqvarna has a conference on the exact same day as my show. That's why Husqvarna won't be attending.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, no, it's cool. It's a different side of the industry. You don't get to see as a contractor. If you're just focused on being a contractor, that's not the side you don't get the inside.
Yeah. The only The only part that would be conflicting with, say, Catch Pro Australia is the fact that we now do sell a lot of parts, not OE parts,
Yeah.
not OEM parts, but your aftermarket parts. We sell all that stuff now.
Yeah.
But I still do encourage, even though we sell it, it's still good to support local dealers if they're supporting you.
Yeah.
And that's the best way that I can put it realistically. But BJ, first off the bat, mate, what makes a good mower dealer?
Okay.
In terms of we don't have any notes.
Well, there's two sides to mower dealers.
Hang on. I'm gonna try and ask the question easier, and just so we can break it down a little.
Give it to me.
Let's just talk first about brands and products.
Okay.
So, in terms of a good dealership, do you like dealers that just have like a ton of brands or just a few brands?
Okay, so in regards to dealers, I do enjoy walking into a dealership and having choice. Like Danny from Southside, he has choice. He's got walls of, what has he got, like 5 or 6 different brands on the walls, maybe?
So, for example, he's now a Still dealership.
Yeah.
And for example, if you want to walk in and get a brush cutter, you'd have an option of Still, Echo Shindewa, which, by the way, throughout this episode, we're just going to group as like they're the same brand.
Yeah.
Basically. Then I believe he has Honda, Victor, and Bush Ranger.
Yeah. Okay. So that 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really good.
Which is, to me, I feel it's actually excessive.
You think it's too many? But see, he's catering to a big audience. Like we've said with Danny, people drive 2 hours to go and see Danny specifically because he not only has the sales, he also has the service. So
yeah, but we'll get there in a minute.
But yeah, so numbers wise, I think it's not always more is better because I think.
Well, how do you feel when you walk into a dedicated? I'm just going to say Husky.
Okay, what about Greg from Cavalibar? He is a Still Massport Skag dealer. That's all you walk into his shop and there is just Still. That's the only hand tools he sells.
Yeah, so the dealers that just have like a Still or a Husqvarna shop,
Yeah.
I still think they're fine, that's great. But it just means like if you don't like that brand or if you're not familiar with that brand, so I think what you're saying about the choice probably help. I had said initially, did I respond and say initially that I thought it was too much?
You said you thought it was too much.
Look, I still think that 5 brands is too much.
Yeah.
But 1 brand is just not enough.
Yeah. But that's it. With Danny's, I guess, it is a big shop. And then to balance the wall stock of snippers and blowers and all that sort of stuff, there is a lot of floor stock of zero turns. So he has more zero turn brands than he has wall stock of.
Yeah, and I still think too much. I understand it. Like if you're a Walker dealer and then you're carrying 1 or 2 other zero turn brands, that's probably pretty appropriate.
Yeah. He carries pretty much everything except for maybe Toro.
So he's carrying Walker, which services a particular market, and we should all recognise that. We shouldn't make this episode about Southside, but we just use it as an example.
Like he is in Brisbane, I would say that he is the most. He's the biggest dealer in Brisbane.
Yeah, maybe apart from the Superstore.
Yeah, well, I mean, Superstore. I know Karoy and Biwa are up there as well, a little bit further north.
Yeah, Biwa is pretty small, I think.
Is it?
Biwa is pretty small. Yeah.
But yeah, I know Karoy Outdoor Power do pretty well
in
as well.
In terms of brands, anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, I just singled Danny out because I've been going to him for fucking 10 years. So I kind of know his shop and...
No, that's cool. So, yeah, I mean, look, he's got Walker, which, services that market. He has Rover, which look, I'm obviously
It's a residential machine.
Yeah,
Like it's
but so it makes business sense because he's servicing a particular market. Like if a landowner that has half an acre or an acre wants to come in and drop 5 Gs,
Yeah.
they can on a rover, and it'll service them fine.
the thing is like it comes from fucking Stanley Black and Decker as well. So
Yeah.
if you're in with one, you've got to show faith in the others. It's not like you can carry.
No, so he doesn't do Cubs. He does do Hustler now, which
Yeah.
is under their umbrella.
Yeah.
But he doesn't do Cubs, which I just know for me when I walk into one of those MTD dealerships that just has Cubs and Rovers, like I always just look at that and I just think to myself, like I know they sell machines in high volume.
Yeah.
But between those two brands, obviously your Rovers are all that domestic market. In that Cub Cadet range, even though they've got some great models now, it just doesn't seem like they have enough versatility
Yeah.
to service, like...
I think
there's
the Pro
example,
Turns are pretty popular. Like the sit-down steering wheel machines are pretty popular these days.
Pro Z, mate.
Pro Z.
A Pro Turn is a Gravely.
Sorry about that. Apologies.
No, what I mean by it is they don't have a 34-inch
Yeah.
commercial grade.
Yep.
They just bring in one stand on.
Yeah.
There's just not the full... They have a full domestic lineup.
Yeah.
And in a larger scale, they've got a lineup, but it's not really like, say, Skag, Gravely or Wright, where if you go to a local dealer and you start a business and you get a 32, 34, 36, whatever it is, and then later you want to evolve, you really can't go to those local Cub dealers
Yeah.
and experience that unless they are carrying one of the other brands, which, by the way, they do. Like, they're not all just exclusive.
No, there's.
But look,
I don't think there is really any exclusive dealers, is there?
Yeah, there would be.
Is there?
Yeah,
I feel like Greg is the closest thing I've ever walked into at Capalaba with his steel stock. Even though he's a Skag dealer and he has floor stock all the time, which is awesome. But just in regards to hand tools, it's such a nice shop though.
Yeah,
It's a nice shop to walk into because it's all uniform and it's very appealing to the eye.
Yep. So let's talk. So back to our original question. I think we can say that having a range is a positive.
Yeah. Do you have to backtrack on your? Do you reckon, Danny?
No, I still think that
you
there's
think
too
it's
much there. Yeah.
Okay, cool. No, I like it as a consumer.
I hate to say this out loud, but realistically, in terms of Dan, and all of those brands that he's carrying, I think you got to take Briggs off the list.
Yeah.
And you fuck off your Victor and Ferris, and you've still got awesome, credible machines. You still have Hustler. They're a big Gravely dealer now.
Yeah. What if another credible machine comes along? Would you advise to add or not?
Oh, possibly, yeah, of course. But I think then, look, in terms of the customer, which is really what we're talking about.
Yeah.
We're not really talking about the dealer themselves.
Yeah.
But that range is good.
Yeah. Yeah, look, as a consumer, for me, walking in and having choice is something that's really important. What is more important is knowing that they can service that choice. It's one thing to have fucking 5 different brands on the wall, but if you don't have 5 different air filters out the back to compensate, 5 different styles of spark plug, 5 different throttle cables, all that fucking behind the scenes stuff when you grab a new machine off the wall and you're like, oh, fuck yeah. And then you walk away and look, it happens. It happens to the best brands out there. You might go out for a couple of days and something goes wrong. You take it back and they're like, well, we don't have any throttle cables in stock. And then you're like, fuck, well, what do I do with this brand new piece of equipment?
So no word of a lie, and this is years ago and, different world we're living in, you can buy stuff online or, you can... It's just 10 years ago when I did this or had this happen, it just was a different world. But I think I wanted to buy. I think I bought a still
Yep.
FS84, and I wanted to buy it. I wanted them to put a Tanaka head on it, and I wanted to just get straight onto a job. And they didn't have any Tanaka heads, and no word of a lie, it lost them the whippersnipper sale. I didn't buy it. I went somewhere else.
Yep.
And it sort of, just goes to show that, I mean, a Tanaka head back then would have been $20.
Yeah. Yeah. So
and they were really popular back then too.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of those things where everyone was just looking at me like, what the fuck? And I was like, that's what I want.
Yeah, why don't
that's
you have
what
it?
We're all running, and and they're like, I can get it. I can have one in a couple of days. And I was like, man, I need to get to this job now. I've made the decision. I want to buy a new snipper, and I want it to be what I'm used to using.
Yep.
Right. I mean, they didn't try and upsell me a speed feed or nothing, but I don't know what the still heads are like these days, but back then they were fucking pieces of shit.
They're different. I think they're pretty different. I think same with like the Husqvarna, the heads on the Husqvarnas. I'm not a massive fan of them. Heaps of people like them. I saw Will from Rosebud. He's moving premises, and he had a fucking box of like 30 of them. Sold them on LMCA last night.
Yeah,
so
I did see that.
That was good. But yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I've had something similar happen. RIP the mower place. I bought all my Shindaiwa stuff from them when I first started. When I got a little bit bigger, I needed some more gear. I went back there and they didn't stock Shindaiwa. They stocked Bushranger, and I told them like I want the equivalent of a T260. So, and let's be honest, like that's a fucking crazy good machine. So I had the best from the start, and they gave me a fucking Bushranger L231. So it's nowhere near equivalent to a 260. So they
would
sent
that be
me
like a 230? Or?
Yeah,
I mean,
230.
I should know all this.
Yeah. It's kind of like a 230. So they sent me out with that, and I didn't have the same power. I was doing shit jobs then, so I needed the power. So I took it back, and I was like, no, it's not for me. But the way they sold it to me just wasn't. It didn't sit well with me, and like I left straight away. First time I ever went to Danny's shop, walked into Danny's, and I bought one of the newer Shindaiwa T262Xs, and then I bought a multi-tool as well with all the attachments. And it was just that little mistake from the dealer not giving me the right machine at the right time. And once Shindaiwa changed all their emissions and all that sort of stuff, like that was what the X262 was. I liked that machine, but then they've changed it again. And I bought two, what are they, like M232s, I think they were, the multi-tools from Shindaiwa, and they just shit the bed. They fucking didn't last 6 months, and they were fucking cooked. So I spoke with a couple more people and ended up Bushranger and been Bushranger ever since. So that was just a luck of the draw, because that initial interaction was just like, what are you doing?
Kind of soured you a little bit.
Yeah, it did sour me a little bit. So that's another thing. Like people go to dealers for guidance, and
that's right. Yeah,
it's hard when you have to be able to tell the person who has your best interest at heart or a sale at heart. And I think there are so many dealers out there that are so good at looking after their customers. Like, the Scotty Osbornes, the Will from Rosebud, the people that are honest with you and be like, fucking, that ain't going to suit you, dude. Like, you need something else.
But I also think, I know we're sort of straying a little bit away from the topic, but even people like us, like, I won't mention the name, but, someone was having an interaction with a dealer and they found a husky stand on.
Oh, yep.
Sorry. He was going to get a Bobcat. That was probably the local dealer had them, and a different dealer was like, nah, get this at a bargain or something, and which is fine for a bargain. I'm not going to talk that much about the machine, but like it just didn't make any sense. the dealer was pushing them away from Bobcat because of after sales and support. And we know that SME has lost Bobcat and Clark Equipment and now the distributor. So they're a little bit shaky. Like, they have to get all their ducks in a row to be able to support that brand. But you're being pushed into something that is discontinued.
Yeah.
It's still being manufactured, but it's discontinued in Australia. So why would that dealer push this contractor to a machine knowing that if you do a clutch or a belt or something, you have to import those parts? They're not here.
Yeah.
And going back to when I say, advice from, other influencers or people like BJ or myself, I dropped a comment straight away and I was like, look, you're better off, like I work with these 3 brands and they're quality brands. They have quality dealers and the distributors can be contacted, like
the distributors
so
are
said,
on this page where you've posted it.
I just, essentially said, look, take a look at Grayley, Skag or Wright. If you ever had a problem with any of those machines, you could call someone like me or BJ and we could probably get you in contact with the right people that you need. Obviously it has to be within reason. You can get that problem rectified in minutes.
Yeah.
Like with Skag, for example, we've seen someone post on Skag Down Under. It's like, oh, I fucking blew a belt in 5 minutes or something. And you've got the man immediately responding saying, send us a private message. We'll have you sorted within minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. And I know for a fact, like...
Sorry, I hate to cut you off. I know it's rude. I know we've strayed away from the dealers to the distributors. We'll try and stay on track.
But again, like dealers, distributors, it's if one's not supporting the other, then the whole fucking system falls apart.
Yeah, it's relative in that sense.
So,
you ain't getting that out of MTD or
No, that's it. That's the thing. And with the expos, like realistically, the brands that are there are the brands that are supporting actual contractors, like everyday blokes and chicks out there just whipping and fucking mowing. Like realistically, I've reached out to everyone and the best interactions that I've had are with the people who know the industry, are involved with the industry and it's dealers as well as distributors. And if I've had any trouble getting in touch with distributors, dealers have gone in for me and been like, hey, this is what's happening. You guys really should get to this because it's valuable for you and for us. We had Danny and Chris. Chris is from the Mower Superstore. We're going to have a similar setup down in Melbourne, and a lot of machines changed hands on the day. A lot of money was spent, and a lot of people walked away with bargains. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Like I said at the start, I do have a different perspective, and I do get to see what's happening behind the scenes. But at the end of the day, I am a consumer, so I do know what I like in a dealer. And
so what about servicing? Apologies if anyone can hear me dogs barking right now.
Yeah, servicing is a big one, dude.
So can I put a question out there?
Yeah.
So when you rock into a shop, I know you have to sort of build a bit of a relationship with the dealer. But let's say you've got a thrashed governor spring on a Honda or something, just silly. You sort of... I don't want to sound entitled because I really hate entitled people. But you want to walk into a dealer where you've got a $5 5-minute problem and kind of be like, yeah, no worries, bring it out the back and we'll just, get someone to, tighten this or replace this quickly or, just something, if you've got a bent mower blade.
Yeah.
Quickly chuck it on the jack, fucking, do this. But... the dealerships that hand you one of those little job cards and they say, no worries, we'll give you a call in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That is just fucking not on to me.
You know who those dealers are that give you that 5 minutes? They're the dealers who know that 5 minutes now will potentially earn them 50 grand down the track. Because if you're a contractor, you're walking in with a Honda, with a bent governor, down the track eventually your business may flourish and you're going to be looking for a zero turn, and you know exactly where you're going to go, because that service with the push mower hopefully will translate into that service with the ride on. So it's, yeah, those are the guys. Example, Danny, 100%. Like, I've walked in there before, I'm like, fucking Danny, help me, this isn't fucking doing the right thing. And he's like, yeah, bring it out the back, and he'll fix it on the spot. And if he can't fix it, then he'll be like, yeah, she's fucked, you know. And then I have to accept that for what it is and go and sit in my truck and cry. But yeah, I that's a good question, man. Like, I think the servicing side of the business is just as important as like the sales and all that. Like,
but that really, specific part about, you know, that just having that small problem that you just need to get.
Like Darko's. So Ben and I both used to use. Did you see Jamie at the show? Did he come and see you?
No.
He was there, dude. He came and saw me, and
well, he was the one who told me to not do that.
yeah. But yeah, no, he came and saw us, and they were fantastic for us. Like, really.
So as a dealer, like, they were so awesome. Unfortunately, they've never been supporters of Catch Pro, and we've never really talked since.
Yep.
Even to the point where, like, I think I called him only a few months ago to see if I could hire a dingo. And he was kind of even just then, he's just like, don't bother. And I was like, fuck you, you fucking whack cunt, eh? Like, he didn't even want my bloody $300 a day. You know, I was kind of just like, you've gotten worse.
They're no longer there. They're no longer operating. That's, pretty sad. But no, it was fantastic for when I first started, because you could just walk in there and they would, you know, grab your shit and take it out the back and try and diagnose and
like if they
get you back on the road.
If you went in there with like a minced belt or something, and you know, like, they would just say, yep, just sit there for 5 minutes and we'll just get you sorted.
Yeah, and they were good for a yarn.
They charge you a good price.
Fucking very reasonable.
Like, they wouldn't. I don't know what.
Because they were not, like, as a traditional sense of a dealership, they were like small engine mechanics.
They were small engine.
Like bush mechanics.
They were small engine mechanics that I think they didn't hold themselves above the industry by any means, because they were pretty rough.
Yeah.
But they got their enjoyment out of working, like, not really on your typical like, they would work on wood chippers and
they had the
bobcats and, you know, all sorts of stuff. They would do lots of little bits and pieces, but they used to carry.
I mean, they were dealers for Makita, OPE.
They were dealers, they were. They had a Makita account,
and that was before Makita battery OPE became anything like to ride home. And it wasn't even battery. I think it was all petrol.
It was, I believe.
I don't think it was.
It was four-stroke. So, but they were a Country Clipper dealer.
Yep. So we both got our Country Clippers from them.
Got them a ton of sales along the way too.
Yeah. No, it was good. Like, they were really helpful, and they were always like, for the contractor. I think that when it comes to servicing, when someone sees a contractor walking in, I think potentially, like, again, this sounds entitled, but I think they should get a little bit of a priority, just because, like, it is our bread and butter. We're not just going home to mow our own lawn, I think, maybe. And I know a lot of dealers think the exact same way. So, but yeah, look, the servicing side of things also really needs to be emphasized with communication, because if your dealer does not communicate, it fucks everything.
Look, I definitely think it's super important. It's no different to a car mechanic. You go in there to get your oil changed and you fucking end up with new brakes and a timing belt and all this shit.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. They should never do it. Also, contractors should never do it too. Like, I've seen things where contractors, you know, mow the lawn. Okay, you got to trim that hedge, and then they weed a garden, and then they trim some, you know, limbs off a tree.
Take that off, yeah.
And you send in the invoice and then all of a sudden you've got this conflict and it's like, it wasn't discussed. Like everyone needs to agree on something.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's more complicated than like sometimes when you're starting that relationship, it's like, all right, if you take a chainsaw in and you want to get your chain sharpened, you really should be saying, yep, I just want the chain sharpened. Don't look at anything else. If you see anything else that is a major issue, contact me first. I just want the chain sharpened.
Yeah. If I didn't say that and just said just fix them, I'd cop it on the chin. But the fact that I was like, hey, can you let me know if anything major? And a $400 fucking gearbox on both of the machines, that's an issue to me. So it's annoying. I obviously need the equipment, but yeah, it's a lot of money. Like it's $1,200 for two skins. I could have just bought two brand newbies and kept those ones for backups, spare parts and whatnot.
Yeah, so I definitely think that the servicing part, so along with your whole goods with the range and the servicing, they're pretty important. But what about your aftermarket consumables and spares? Like,
yeah.
So I know, our guys back in the day, like you'd be flat stick trying to find some trimmer line or something.
Yeah.
I mean, they had bits and pieces.
Yeah.
But they never really invested.
Yeah. Look, COVID fucking showed how low stocks can actually get. When you would walk into a shop, I mean, we were lucky enough still to be able to walk into shops in Queensland, but yeah, you'd walk into a shop and the whole fucking wall, there'd be like some BBC fucking 3.3 on the wall. And that was it. Like there was not much variety, and it wasn't much better behind the counter with all the spares.
But in terms of just being a contractor, okay, you're out mowing, you're in the area, your trim cord's getting low, and I might get some fucking oil while
I
I'm
just
there.
fling into catchpro.com.au.
Well, I mean, obviously,
I got the headquarters desk down the road normally, so I'm like, man, help me.
Yeah, but I just feel like dealers, like they should. Obviously, you can't stock every part.
Yeah,
it's no different to Catch Pro.
No.
Now, we might have a few belts here. We might have a couple of bits of oil and stuff, but it's not like we go and buy thousands of dollars of oil.
Yeah.
Just to wait for someone.
Yeah.
To place that order.
I totally get it.
When you're in a brick and mortar situation, you have to recognize the high moving consumable products, and you should keep that in mind.
Yep.
Rather than no worries, we'll order that in 3 days.
Yeah. Way back in the day when I had my Shindawa stuff, I went into a deal. I wanted to do I had a spare day. It was when I was sort of coming up, so I had a little bit of time over winter. So I wanted all new spark plugs, all new air filters. And I wanted to service all my stuff, a couple of new heads, and I walked in and I just expected that stuff to be there, and it wasn't. And I was like, oh, okay.
I know. And then sometimes it's kind of like,
and then I sort of, now that I'm where I am now, I'm kind of like, fuck, that's kind of on me. Oh, Chilly Willy.
I had a mini orgasm.
Yeah, it's kind of on me. Like I should have spares of everything, and I wasn't so wise back then. Like especially simple things like spark plugs.
You can't have spares of anything if you don't have anywhere to buy it.
Yeah, it is true, but I don't know. The line that I got that day that I went in there is we just have to wait until we've got a decent order for GA, and then we'll order them. And I was like, oh, how long is that going to be? And they were like, oh, it could be a couple of days, depends on what we've got to do.
Yeah, that's not cool.
So that kind of put me off, and I didn't stop going to that shop. And yeah, the service side of things is huge for me because time is money and downtime is no money.
So what about a clean and organised shop as compared to
well, I can't judge
ones that are kind of mayhem? Well, do you want me to give you my thoughts first?
Yeah.
So I am very particular in this area.
Yeah.
I like things to be organised, rah. But I actually really think when you walk into a dealership and it's perfect everywhere, I feel like it's more of a sales orientated,
Yeah.
setup rather than for servicing and mechanics and,
Depends what you're seeing though, because if
It
they have a
does depend-
nice showroom,
Yeah, it obviously definitely depends on what you're seeing.
Yeah.
But sometimes taking a peek behind the curtain, like when you walk into Southside, for example, and certainly Darko,
Yeah.
like you'd be right. Like, man, I reckon these days that Darko equipment that we used to go to, there would be lawsuits.
oh fuck yeah,
You're just walking
Yes.
past some cunt fucking grinding and,
just
bloody-
next to a fuel tin, just like meh, shooting sparks on the customers.
or just like welding.
Yeah,
welding up
fucking doing these ones with the blinders. Yeah, nah, she's sweet.
But yeah, no, sometimes taking a peek behind the curtain just gives the consumer that little bit of, like when you go to Dan's, for example, you can go in the showroom and it's neat and organised, but, you've got full view of the mechanics working on everything.
Yeah. All the mowers are all lined up nicely. You see all the job tags hanging off them. You see the hoists are always full. But then again, like for me, I know when I'm doing all my shit, it's like organised chaos. Like I know where everything is, but it looks like a fucking bukkake.
Yes.
Like a tool bukkake.
So I'm going to say that I don't know, like I do prefer to see things beautiful and organised and stuff, but I don't know that you can really judge a dealer based on that.
Nah.
Unless it's proper mayhem where you've got like fucking engine parts sitting on the counter and
Well, it depends
just bits
too.
and pieces. It just kind of sometimes it can let off that vibe like, is this person really organised? Like, is he really gonna change that spark plug or oil? Sometimes I don't know. Yeah.
If you see the same machine broken down in the corner with like half the engine pulled out week after week after week after week, then you're kind of like, oh shit.
I've heard some really shit stories about people who've put zero turns in and they've been waiting for parts 6 months later. That is fucking unacceptable.
It's so bad.
Like something has gone on there where either they can't get the part or they can't actually fix that machine.
Yeah.
And being led astray like that is bullshit.
Yeah. Just give it back. Give it back and we'll move on to someone who can do the job.
And how any contractor would tolerate that for more than 4 weeks is beyond me.
Yeah. I get like there are weights on some parts and obviously that's out of a dealer's control. That's on the distributor. But I've also seen, even on LMCA, where people have like beaten the distributor to getting their own parts from the US. They've gone out of their way and gone, fuck this, I'm not waiting 6 to 8 weeks or whatever. They order it direct and they get it within 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, for the dealer / distributor, it might be, you might make $80 on that part. But for the contractor, you're talking about making anywhere from $3,000 to $1,000 a day.
Exactly. Yeah, it's hard to justify, that. Yeah, you can't really say that to a dealer though, because that $80 over 80 parts is how they make their bread and butter. But again, like it just depends on your dealer. Like that's why they're so important to have good dealers and have a good relationship. And that's another big thing is a relationship, because you can't just walk into a dealer and demand fucking discounts because you're a contractor. I feel like that's bullshit when people are like, oh, there's a 20% discount on Husqvarna. And like I myself have said that on LMCA, but you can't just walk into a fucking dealer. And I don't know if Husqvarna is particular about it as like, say, other dealers, but it's at the dealer's discretion. It's not a freebie. It's a half and half. So like the dealer will pay half, like they cop 10%, and the distributors will cop 10%. It's not a given that you're going to walk in and walk out with a 20% discount. I feel like
in today's world, there's no shame in asking.
No.
But you have to ask the right way. And I just know in my own experience being a retailer now,
you would cop it all the time.
We do, and we will honor it based on how that person approaches us.
Yeah.
So, if someone came to me and said like, oh, hey, I'm looking for a bump feed head, what's the best price? Well, the best price is the fucking retail price.
Yeah.
If someone comes to me and says, I want to get a Catch Pro, might add a chute blocker and some trimmer racks, able to do some sort of deal, well, on an order like that, we can talk.
Yeah.
But yeah, like sometimes I just get messages, and it's like,
I can only imagine.
I'm a contractor, give us a discount, and like I don't even look at it.
Yeah.
Like it's not even, I don't like being approached like, and that's only me. Like some dealers might be, BR and approached the wrong way and still be like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, a sale's a sale at the end of the day. Like a 10% cut is not, it's not worth
it's
losing
only
a sale
tough
off in some situations.
In my situation, it can be really tough. Like if anyone asks for a discount on a Ballard product, say for example,
yeah,
it pretty much means that I don't make anything.
Okay.
Like
and
it's just specific to that stuff because even though we're the exclusive Australian distributor, that's not what they are. They're not like, so our pricing that we get from them, it kind of, if you could buy it direct from America, the pricing that you would get wouldn't be that much different to ours.
Yeah.
He's all about that money.
Oh, man. I guess that at the end of the day, everyone's out to make money. And
Can we just continue with pricing?
Yeah.
So discounts is one thing, that's good.
Yep.
Most of the whole goods in, terms of brush cutters and bits and pieces, I would say almost everywhere in Australia, broad range, most of those prices are going to be fairly competitive.
Yeah.
And I mean, like the distributors will say like, okay, you have to retail it for this.
Yeah. Everyone gets a price guide.
Yeah. So I think that stuff is pretty well, accounted for. But with the servicing prices, I mean, we obviously never really experienced any price structure. It was kind of just different every time.
Yeah, I feel like it was always
happening.
I think they always worked off an hourly.
Yeah, I'm not
like
sure.
a labour.
And I don't know how Southside works. I mean, I believe they are.
I don't know,
very
but every
competitive.
interaction I've had price wise with Southside's been pretty reasonable. So I've never had to worry about that sort of stuff.
I do want to jump back to my comment at the start of the episode about someone. I think they mentioned something about $220 for push mower service, and I think what as consumers what we don't always understand, and I understand this now because I sell goods, but you buy the oil, you buy the filters, you buy the plugs. And that cost, nobody can ever, like, it costs what it costs. You pay the markup. That's just what it is. In terms of the labour, though, like, and I'm sure this doesn't happen everywhere, but 9 times out of 10, they probably clean the push mower, because they have to work on it.
Yeah.
So that's like another thing, and then something else that people probably don't, they have to dump the oil somewhere. These days with all, you can't just heave the oil anywhere these days.
Yeah, you have to employ
Like
a pickup service.
Like Benny Hoover back in the fucking day. Oh, man, I was loose as a...
Did you just have an oil patch in your yard?
One of my yards, had a fucking oil hole.
An oil hole, fuck. Give me back.
At one of my places, I had an oil drain.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's a big naughty one.
You're fucked.
Sometimes it was just, fucking, dump it in the wheelie bin. In a bottle.
In a bottle.
Yeah. But these days, we're obviously a little bit more aware of, the earth.
Yeah.
And everything. But dealers, they can't just, so they have to discard that oil. Not only that, like something that I'm learning this now. The original packaging just fucking builds up everywhere.
Yeah.
And you can imagine if you're servicing 10 mowers a day, you've got 10...
Every mower comes in a fucking box these days.
Oh,
so
man, like the packaging, like, you know, I burn a lot of my cardboard.
yeah.
And when I lived at a different house, I used to just, you know, gather it up and you can dump it for free, but
Yeah.
it takes time.
Yeah.
But man, like, just when you get something like, you know, on a pallet from Ballard,
Yeah.
you know, you got the pallet, you got all like the amount of plastic and like shit that just you end up with like just this whole just massive just nothing. You can't do anything. It's all rubbish.
Yeah.
So they're just other little costs, you know,
Yeah.
that I think consumers sometimes take for granted.
And look, everybody is talking about the cost of living right now in regards to rent and houses and all that sort of shit. And people have to consider the fact that most of these dealers do not own the property that they are working out of. They also rent that. And if you think the house rental prices have gone up, then you know that the industrial prices have gone up as well for commercial properties. Like, it's fucking, it'd be crazy. So like a regular person would be paying, you know, friends of ours were paying $560 a week, and now they're paying like $740 for the exact same house. So imagine translating that to something that's worth like $1,200 a week. Imagine the fucking markup on that shit.
Yeah,
Like, I'm not I don't know, because I don't ask those sort of questions, but I can imagine that everything, like, you know, just because they're commercial premises doesn't mean they're not going to get inflation in their rent.
there are certain things about pricing that I don't know if it happens to this day, but I always disagreed with it back then. But say, for example, if you walked into a steel dealership and you bought a new machine, you know, and then, you know, back in the day, you had what's that piece of mesh called?
The spark arrestor.
Yeah, so like, you know, that would clog up with carbon and, you know, your machine's stalling and carrying on, or, you know, bogging down, and you take it back to the steel dealer and they say, oh, you need a carby clean, but we need to, you know, what oil have you been using? And if you weren't smart and said, oh, just use the steel oil, well, then the mechanic, who's the salesperson, would say, well, we need to send this to the head office for a laboratory test. And, you know, you're just being fucking taken for a ride.
Yeah.
Like, that is... But can you imagine the costs involved in all of that bullshit?
Yeah.
You know, like, it's a fucking two-stroke carby, mate. Like,
Yeah.
you know. So some of those things, you know, I don't like dissing brands, but I disagree. I don't know if it happens these days, but I'm not a still consumer. But I've just always thought that it's just a tactic. It's not... That's a sales tactic, and that's a tactic to generate revenue that's completely unnecessary.
Well, pigeonholed you to getting that still oil, and there are some serious...
I used to run the still oil.
You did used to run it. I started it, and then I was like...
I used to like the smell of it. No, I liked it.
Addict.
I liked it because it was more concentrate. You know, you can use less of it. It just means, you know, less handling and...
Yeah, I jumped off that pretty quick.
Still oil?
Yeah. It's just fucking, the price was out of control.
Yeah, I mean...
Even back then, like, prices weren't massive, but compared to the competitors, like, compared to...
Just think, I'm giving it props, and now I sell, like, probably 30 different types of oil, and none of them are still.
Yeah, well, they're all the oils that I consume, so that's good for me.
I only have one machine here that you got to put oil in.
Really?
I'm not a contractor.
I still have a few.
Yeah. Wait, I'm fucking mowing my lawn right now, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Fucking-
yeah. Oh, Uncle Segway's out.
Yeah, Navi mow.
Navi.
What other points on dealers, brother?
Oh, look, I think this is just a personal thing. A dealer that you can have a conversation with is good. Someone who I totally understand that people get busy, but 5 minutes is all like I really need to be like, all right, cool. I've had a good interaction here. Let's get out of here. He can get working and I can get working. I think when people are dismissive of you, it really shows that they're not really that interested in your business. They're not really interested in your needs.
Customer service is
I think, mate, I guess it does come down to customer service.
I'll give everyone a quick story. So on Friday night, can't remember what we were doing, but I ended up, it was about 8:30, and I ended up down in my office, and my phone starts ringing, and I thought 8:30, like, I thought, I'll take I only took the call because I was downstairs.
Yeah.
If I was upstairs, I wouldn't have taken the call. And I've answered like a full rude cunt. And I'm like, hello. And I hear this, oh, g'day, I've been emailing you, rah, and I'm sort of like, yeah. Literally like that. And, anyway, the dude was from WA, so it was only 6:30.
Oh,
and he sort of, by my tone, kind of acknowledged, but anyway, I ended up lightening up after he wanted to buy a Catch Pro and a Pro Shield, so I kind of lightened up a little. But, it's sort of one of those things, if you walk into a dealership and, maybe they're not super receptive, it's unfortunate for them, but I think if you're a salesperson, you kind of just need to be like that. You just need to be like that all the time.
Yeah.
Unless you're a bastard of a customer that has a track record.
Oh, fuck.
I know for me.
I only imagine there would be some fucking dogs out there.
I know for me, and it may not be right, may not be wrong. It's just unfortunate the way that I am. But if I, have a bad interaction with someone and we haven't really gotten past it like that, like I just don't play ball.
Yeah. No, I've always been...
eventually I get over it.
Yeah, but it does leave a shitty taste in your mouth. But I've always been... I don't know. Someone said this to me when I was a kid and it has just stuck with me forever, and it's common courtesy costs nothing. And, I think interactions is what life is all about. And that's why, I try... It's
a good thing to be a nice person.
I think, yeah. And I always try and have good interactions with people. I always like to make people laugh. Well, I won... I'll put a screenshot up on LMCA later, but I won a pick the fucking number of lollies in the jar from... from Q... it's Q Sleeper. So... we're looking to build a retaining wall, and I follow this page, and they had this competition, and I just put a fucking number up, and I got a message yesterday, which was awesome, saying, "Hey, congratulations, man! You won the pick." And
you didn't have to forward them any bank details, did you?
No, fuck no. But I just wrote back, "Oh man, that's awesome! This has cemented the fact that I need to lose weight," and. I don't know if that made them laugh or anything, but I thought it was funny, and so did my missus. So, I just like to, I don't know, just good interactions are what life's all about. You don't want any negatives floating around you.
I don't mind a good chin wag, eh?
Yeah, having a fucking yarn here and there is good. And dealers are they're like insiders. You can get some really cool knowledge. If you're actually a person who is invested in the industry, you love the industry, a dealer has more knowledge than you'll ever get. They get all the inside scoops. They get all the emails that come out before. A lot of our stuff that we've dropped on the podcast has come from dealers. And sometimes they're obviously always going to be busy. Machines never stop breaking down. But I think that 5 minutes just to have a chat, building that relationship is just such a good thing for your business down the track, because if you're having good interactions with a dealer, you walk in and I think I keep going back to Danny, but it's because he is a dealer that I have good interactions with. You walk in, he's like, "Hey BJ, how you doing, mate?" And I'm like, "Good, Danny, how are you doing?" Straight away you walk in, everything's positive. Nothing's too hard for him to do and get done. So I think just that just makes or breaks. If you walk in and someone's like, fucking whatever. I'll walk into a dealer that's it closed down ages ago. You'd walk in and you'd be walking around the showroom and there'd be fucking 3 people sitting behind a desk. No one would. They'd just be like, man, fucking, just these old fellas just sitting behind a desk. They don't want to fucking borrow you, and then you have to go up to the desk to get information about the machines. Now, if they were fucking active and came over and were like, oh, you know, what are you after today? Like, it would just make the interaction so much better.
What about the opposite where...
Oh, fuck yeah.
Where they just fucking come to get you and they're just like, hey, man, you know, what can I do for you? And you're like, oh, I'm just having a browse. Oh, yeah, well, you want to browse at this or you want to do, you know, it's like, oh, fuck.
You got to there's a middle ground where it's just perfect interaction where like you can...
I don't find like, you know, the green industry is typical. Like if you're in like a retail clothes shop, oh, man.
Going in with...
Those young people, hey, oh, yeah, you should get these pants. It's like, oh, no, they're fucking whack as fuck. It's like, oh, you should try and wear this T-shirt. I'm like... It's fucking pink.
I'll come out and it's like a fucking midriff. They're like, that looks so good on you. We're like, oh my God, my tits are hanging out the bottom. Yeah. No, like I get that now, like going shopping with Chloe and Lou, like they'll run into a store like spray and then all these fucking, you know, the girls will come out from behind and go, oh, anything we can help you with today? Oh, this will look good on you.
Well, the blowjob would be nice.
I'm like, fuck, is there
Imagine how hammered I'm going to get for those comments.
Jeez. I'll be like, is there a dad seat here somewhere? Like, I don't get shopping, eh? Like, I love going to see stuff that I'm interested in, but like it's hard because most of the time I'll go to the shops, like we'll go to a shopping centre and I'll literally be like, I'm just going to go to the shaver shop and then that's all I want to see. And then I might wander into like a platypus or something, look at some new Nikes or...
I don't go shopping
I saw some fucking Timberlands. So I wanted to get some Timberlands for the US because what I didn't know, I wore steel caps to Melbourne and they make you fucking take your boots off. And
oh, bro, anything like that.
I was like, fuck. Like, if you're wearing shoes, it's sweet, but because I was wearing steel caps, they made me take them off.
To get on the plane?
Yeah, to get on the plane.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So Timberlands are not steel caps. So I went to Platypus in Melbourne. There's a fucking Timberland boot that literally is brown. So like kind of like an RM Williams, kind of in between an RM Williams and a work boot. But then it's got fucking, it looks like grass. From like the ankle up.
What?
I was like, what the fuck? And then I opened up the boot and I looked at the price. They were like $360. I'm like, fuck, you wouldn't even see that green bit. Like, they'd be cool if
I'm
you
trying
were
to
like,
visualize it. I don't understand.
Bro, I'll show you a photo after we finish. Because I took a photo. I said, Lou, look at these. These would be so cool until you look at the price. And I was like, fuck that. But no.
It's funny that, like, me in my older age now, you know, I was always sort of typical, you know, just would wear like more surfy or skate or, you know, sometimes kind of gangster. But like now that, you know, I'm a dad and, you know, I've got grey hair and shit, sometimes I feel like a bit of a kook, you know, and I got myself like a nice pair of like casual boots.
Yeah.
And like you just immediately feel like, I still only wear jeans and a T-shirt or something, but I've got like, you know, a pair of boots. And yeah, like just Vicky and the kids always like, oh, what? I didn't know we were dressing up. And I'm like, it's just a fucking pair of boots. And they're like, oh, very formal, Dad.
You cop shit for it. Well, what at the fucking event?
So I was like, all right, well, I'll get myself a fucking pair of gangster pants and start sagging again.
I'm wearing fucking socks and thongs right now.
Oh, I have to wear socks at the moment. My feet.
My feet are cold.
Mate,
and they hurt.
They're just cold rocks.
I'm so fucking old. Oh, my fucking tootsies are so cold. It hurts.
But I've always been like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I got fucking so many comments at the expo because I was wearing a button-up, just one of those seismic short sleeve button-up shirts, and I was wearing like chinos with my boots, and I was like, fucking, like I actually looked in the mirror and went, oh, I like this outfit. This is what I'm going to wear. Like
you did
straight
look
away.
Very smart.
I was like, I'm going to wear this to the equip on those days. I'll fucking match it, mix and match. And I got so many comments like, oh, you're wearing long pants. Oh, you've got a buttons up. And I was like, oh, do I really? Am I a fucking bum?
Oh,
do I dress like a bum?
You do, yeah.
Oh shit.
Well, you wear stubbies and wife beaters and thongs.
Dude, I fucking love short shorts though.
It's normal. I'm not.
I think it's
Man,
like
nobody dresses like a bigger bum than me. Like in summer, I do not wear a t-shirt.
yeah,
Like I've either always got a shirt or a singo just stuffed in my pants,
yeah,
so I can put it on if I need
yeah,
to.
with your boardies, so you can just jump in and out of the pool.
Yeah, no, well, I just wear work shorts.
Yeah.
24/7, really. But yeah, like I just never ever wear shoes
Yeah.
in summer. So yeah, I'm pretty bummy.
I think a good pair of shorts for me is ones if I'm not wearing jocks and I sit down, a little bit of sack falls out the bottom. That's how that's how I measure.
I've said it before. I don't have the pins.
You don't have the pins for it, Ben.
Mate,
I'm not going to lie. I do have.
Nobody wants to see these.
Yeah.
Fucking.
I got a good set of thumping legs.
I have a fucking great ass though. By the way.
You do. And look, the other night I got really upset. So I was in the mirror and I was like, fucking looking at myself. I was like, wow. And Lou's like, what? I was like, Dales, I really don't have an ass. Like, there's nothing there. It's literally just a back and a shithole. Like, there's nothing there. Why don't I have an ass? I got real concerned, like I had some sort of deformity, but it's literally just a fucking straight. Like, you could
Not
fucking
like Rusty A with his ghetto booty.
Oh, he has like a plump, like, a grabbable booty. But
if he learned to twerk,
oh Jesus,
he could make some money off
I
it.
know, and he's got long hair now too. He took his hat off. I thought, fucking this guy, he's looking rough. And then he took his hat off and he fucking swung his hair like he was Fabio. And I was like, oh, I've got a bit of a semi.
He's actually got like the proper wog hair where it's just like, it's just rich.
He's so handsome. Like, I
Vigorous.
want to fight him because I was like, I'm fucking completely like.
It's been so long since I've been able to hold that dude down, eh?
Yeah, he needs a good
so
pash.
strong.
He is so strong.
Yeah.
Biceps for days. I wish he listened. He just doesn't care. I was like, oh, hey man, make sure you come to the show. He's like, yeah, I'll be there for sure. And I was like telling him, like, all you have to do is pre-register and you can go in the draw to win this, and this. He's like, oh, sick. Fucking never showed up. My other guy from the same village was like, yeah, I'll be there. And then never showed up. Yeah. Fucking Will had a snapped leg and he still rolled in.
Fucking dogs.
Oh, fight them both. Nah, they're good. They're good eggs.
Just going back to quickly about the show.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit embarrassing, but
you didn't get Dak there, so that's a win.
Yeah, well, because it was cold, man.
It was fucking windy.
But I had said to Vicky, oh, what do you think I should wear? And I don't typically. I'm just not a person that.
You messaged me and said, "What are you wearing?"
Yes, because it's the first time we ran a booth.
Yeah.
So last year, I kind of dressed a little bit like a contractor. Like I had bad workwear, sort of the khaki pants.
Sponsor plug.
And had proper work boots, and I wore my Bush Ranger shirt. Cheap plug for them. And like this year I was working a booth.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a contractor anymore.
Yeah.
In all my videos, probably not recently, but a lot of the time I wear workwear every day.
Yeah.
But, like not fucking high vis and shit. Anyway, Vicky was like, no, put your bad pants on, look like contractor appropriate. And I was like, but I'm a fucking salesman now. Like I just want to wear a pair of jeans and a plain shirt. And, I wanted to put me fucking schmick boots on. And Vicky's like, nah, you got to wear your work boots, wear your paddock stompers. They're a little bit worn in and, I ended up just rolling with what I wanted to do. But, I was a little bit like, I'm not.
I think as long as you're comfortable.
I'm a fucking salesman now.
Like, as long as you're comfortable. That's one thing I just...
Oh, you can't get me too comfy.
Why?
I bung her out the side of the mouth.
Oh, yeah. Nah, that's the thing. Like, I think comfort now, I'm on my way to 40. I definitely think comfort is taking priority over style. I do sometimes, like, if I'm going out with the girls, like I'll say to Chloe, I was like, oh, do I look like a bum? And if she's like, no, you look all right. I'm like, oh, sweet, cheers. Because I don't want to embarrass her. Archie, I don't care. He's like, fuck, whatever, Dad.
I fucking love embarrassing the twins.
Oh, I hate it. Nah, I don't want to do that to her.
Yeah, I do.
Fuck.
The other day I dropped them off at school and I was like, bye girls, love you. And they're just, Macy was looking at me like, she was like, you're fucked when we get home.
Yeah, no, I will do that. Like, she has, like, we would prefer for her to have sleepovers at our house because, you know.
I fucking hate sleepovers.
Oh, do you?
Number one, it means immediately no sex.
Yeah, it straight away is a killer.
And I really love my children, but I really, and I don't think I like children in general.
You don't like other people's kids?
It's not, no, it's like sometimes, yeah, I do for a little bit. But
Yeah. You haven't met the right ones.
Man, I work all day.
Yeah.
My kids get home at 3:00 and I'm fucking always with them.
Yeah.
And
well,
it's
Chloe's
like,
a little bit older, so they just fuck off and do their own thing.
Yeah,
when
but
it's
they're loud and
no, they're not.
mate,
like
the other night, I could fucking hear. So it was last Friday night when I took that call.
Oh,
the
yeah.
girls had a sleepover, and they're like fucking wrestling in the lounge room, or and just laughing and giggling. It was like it got to like 9 or 10 o'clock, and I was like, "Will you guys just shut the fuck up?" Like, I'm just sick of hearing the
just
noises.
come downstairs and hide.
And what was funny too was they had to wake up to go to the rehearsal for this thing that that's why one of the girls was sleeping over. And we give our kids the melatonin gummies at night, which I don't love, like fair enough, it may work. But I mean, when I was a kid, we were like, go to fucking sleep, and we would go to sleep.
Yeah.
And Vicky's convinced that our kids cannot sleep without this melatonin.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was getting pretty late, and I went to give the twins a gummy, and I just like looked at this other kid, and Macy's like, "Oh, can you give her one?" I was like, "Oh, nah, man. Like, I can't. I cannot do that."
Yeah.
But a little part of me was like, "But then she'll go to sleep." But it's all right. It's all right. I didn't do it.
Yeah. They just fucking.
You can't give other kids drugs.
Nah, fuck no. No, we learned that in school. No, we don't have a problem with sleep. I would dead set rather her have a sleepover at our house than, man, some of the fucking stories that I hear about kids these days, it's wild.
But like I know this is a mad sidebar. Anyway, one of my girls, Mia, she likes to go out sleepovers, and it might, so if she's been away all day and then it goes into the night, like, it might be 7 o'clock at night, and I might text her and like, hey, how you going? Or, she doesn't really get back to me, and then.
Does it offend you? It offends me. I'm like, fucking.
Like, I pretty much just asked, like, how you going? And, rah, 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 and just making sure you're all right. Like, it wasn't like a full-on dad thing. She wrote back, okay, what do you want? I'm like, are you kidding?
I just want to know that you're still there.
I just wanted to say goodnight.
Yeah. No, I do the same thing, man. I'm like, I totally trust my daughter in every way possible. But I'm always like, I hope you're having a good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Because I've kind of missed my kids. I'm like, oh, man. Like,
I don't trust no. So I got good kids.
Nah.
If anyone was at the LLE, they would have seen one of my kids full hustling with me all day. Mia, she's the redhead, but she's a free spirit, man. Like, if she was
that's good though.
If
like,
she was at a sleep, yeah, it's good. But
it's not like that anymore. Like, most kids conform to fucking.
Like Macy, we thought that she was going to be the loose one, but she's very cautious. I mean, probably too cautious. But like, I know, so we've got a suburb in Wynnum called Loader, and that's where I grew up in. And it's still a very just small, safe suburbs. Like, there's no traffic lights there, and it's not like it's in the middle of nowhere.
There isn't really any traffic lights, is there?
It's busier than what it was when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But, like, you could kind of probably, like, you could still walk the streets at night without, it's not like where I live right now. Anyway, she has a friend, stays there, and, I just always think to myself, those motherfuckers fuckers are out at the skate park. I fucking bet you. And I always think like, I'm going for a drive, eh? And I was like, just don't be like that, Ben.
Oh, yeah.
You know, snap them out somewhere.
Yeah, like Chloe.
Like a young Ben, eh? Down at Loader Creek with a goon sack. Fucking trying to get me fingers wet.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, no, we like Chloe goes to the movies and shit with her friends now. They go to the shops themselves, and we just, you know, obviously it's different now with mobile phones because you can be like, hey, you know, time to rock and roll. Fucking, I'll meet you in the car park. But no, like she hasn't given us a reason not to trust her. So she's a good kid. We sort of are like, you know, whatever. She helps out at home, so she gets paid for certain things, and she likes to go and spend her money on trash. We tell her, you gotta fucking save. And money burns a hole in her pocket, which I can totally understand. She's like 13, so
Yeah, well, hey, at least they're not buying durries and
vapes
and drugs.
fucking black market vapes now. Fuck me, they're like. So I've heard stories of kids paying like $40 for a vape, and they get like fucking 5 puffs out of it, and it's fucking gonskis.
It's a shame. I know we're just babbling now, but what was the actual reason for the vape ban? Was it just
it's because they're fucking they're marketed towards kids. Like they truly have, you know, you get them and they're like in the shape of like a fucking Macca's cup, and the straw is like a fucking, and it's like flavors like berry blast. But the thing is, they contain so much more nicotine than cigarettes. So there's kids at Chloe's school that are full addicted to nicotine.
Because I vaped for a bit with Rusty.
Yeah, but you controlled the amount of nicotine because you had your own vape, so you knew how much nicotine you were putting in.
You couldn't buy nicotine in Australia.
Yeah, so you imported it, but then you would put like a certain amount in.
Yeah.
So these ones that are coming in, so it happened to Lou's sister. So she thought she was just vaping, getting off cigarettes, vaping, just using it as an action, like a habit breaker. But she didn't know that she was literally like toking down fucking mountains of nicotine.
Yeah, but it gets harsh, man. Like I smoke White Ox. Like I got fucking lungs of death. And you know, like if you put too much nicotine in it, it just wasn't like.
Well, they balance it out with like vegetable oil and shit to smoothen it out, and some of them have like they use. I forget what the chemical is, but it cools it, so it actually they can put more nicotine and shit in it, and it actually cools your throat.
Yeah, I don't know what the benefit is of the like. I know, and me as a smoker, it's just I wouldn't vape without nicotine.
Yeah. No, I totally get that.
Then it just feels like you're breathing air.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I've had nicotine poisoning before.
But I feel sorry for the people that quit cigarettes.
Yeah. So do I.
And could do something that no matter no one knows the real effects of it, and people say it's much worse, but it just has to be better than like it's a non-combustible.
Yeah.
Like when you smoke a cigarette, the amount of fucking shit that is going in your body, like it. Yeah. There's no way vaping could be worse.
Yeah. No, I'm no scientist, but the thing is, I'm no scientist. I don't take my medical advice at all, but I just don't think anything's good. Like the thing is, like you walk through the fucking city.
None of it's good for you.
Like you walk through the city of Melbourne, I'm walking through and I'm like, fuck, it smells like fucking fuel here, eh? And then you think about it, you literally just fucking. You may as well just fucking back your lips up to someone's tailpipe walking through like a major city and just start vacuuming in all the shit. Like
they were the first crackheads, eh? Yeah. The fuel sniffers.
Yeah, the fuel sniffers.
All right, well, we seem to be really rabbling on about just nothing. So we
haven't had a fucking good rabble for a while.
I know. Let us know if you like me and BJ personal time talk.
Just fucking
about our own personal lives.
Shooting the shit. Can I do some plugs?
Yes, you can.
So everyone, Melbourne show, 27th of July, llee.com.au.
Now, as you're listening to this, that's the coming weekend.
Yeah, it's Monday morning. Make sure you go pre-register. That gives us a good idea of how many people are coming along. Fantastic to see so many brands jumping on this one. We have ServiceMate, we have Mirror, we have Rounded. So some of the CRM software companies are really jumping on.
Is there any notable influencer contractor types going to just Cheap plugs for anyone in Melbourne.
Look, I know
area.
like Dale from Urban Turf will be there.
Turtle will be-
KP,
is
Turdy McGurdy's going to be there. So Turtle will be there. Lenny Lawler's rolling in. We're bringing Lenny with us to help us on the day. So
I think that'd be a good treat for Melbournians.
yeah, cat out of the bag. We did try and fly Humongous across, but he had conflicting dates. So unfortunately, we couldn't get him across, which is terrible, but it is what it is, and there's always next year. So Ego are the naming day sponsor for this one. They also are having an after party. So on LMCA, we've got all the rules and regulations for that after party. You have to go and see them at a certain time in the day. We'll be making announcements all through the day. We're going to change up. So this is all a learning curve for us. What we're doing this year for this show is actually we're going to spread out the raffles. We're going to try and do raffles throughout the day instead of having them all at once. That way we can, keep everyone entertained all day. I'll be throwing up today, which is
just in case you're against like shitting in public and you have to like go home and leave the show. Do you reckon,
there's actually a toilet block straight outside. So
yeah, but I reckon there's actual people out there who'd be like, "Oh, I need to go to the toilet. I'm just going to go home."
Yeah,
there's people who have rules. Like
I've had so much caffeine today, I might shit before I leave here. Who knows?
I've just never had a problem, mate, taking a dump.
Nah, me neither. There are heaps of people though, like that really can't. Like if I need to go, you get the fuck out of my way. I'm going.
Yeah, I don't like those people who are like really like comfortable where they just fucking spray the joint everywhere.
Yeah,
and then they just like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like going in after them.
That's not a good one.
fucking airport is where you see some haggard shit. That is one place. Like I go in there. Obviously we're trying to get Archie to go to the toilet before we were on a fucking flight back up to Brizzy. And fuck me, did I kick in some doors there trying to find a clean-ish toilet.
Just hold him above it, eh?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to just hover him.
Get him to reverse kangaroo and just piss all over the buttons.
Like he's in between, he's not quite tall enough to stand up and pee at a trough, but he's, and a toilet. So, yeah, like he still fucking jumps on. But
can I tell a really horrible, filthy story?
Yeah, go for it.
We were driving back from the sunny coast and the traffic was not gridlocked, but we weren't moving like super fast. And I saw a lady going to the toilet on the side of the highway. And I was really turned on. Like she had her pants down, she had like a G-banger on.
Oh, Jesus.
She had a really good body. Now, I understand what she was doing. It is considered disgusting.
Is it just that she was like...
I'm not focusing on the fact that she was going to the toilet. It was just that like she had her pants... it was just like a gift. And
You're fucked. Everyone thinks I'm the fucked up one.
It just, I saw a woman with her pants down and I was just like, this is awesome.
Fuck it.
Back in the day, we went to a Desperate and Dateless ball.
Oh, shit.
It was New Year's Eve Dreamworld party.
Yeah.
And I think I must have only been just 18 or something. And I'll just never forget, there was girls just going to the toilet everywhere. It was free piss.
Oh, Jesus.
And it wasn't that they were drunk. It's just that everyone was consuming so much alcohol they needed to go to the toilet. And
they didn't cater for that, did they?
Not at all. And
imagine me just squatting down, just like, oh, excuse me.
They weren't taking shits, DJ. But I'm a little bit of like a nervous peer. I can't just get it out and just piss anywhere.
Yeah.
It just won't happen. And so I just couldn't believe it was literally like it was just happening everywhere.
Oh, jeez.
It was a fucking great night.
Did you join in and just fucking piss on your feet? Because I'm guessing you were shoulder to shoulder with people.
Well, I just remember security was just really tough on the guys.
Handing out piss cups.
And, it just seemed like the women could just fucking pull it aside anywhere that they wanted.
How the fuck did my plug for my fucking show turn into your piss fetish fucking stories?
Let's not call it a fetish. I'm not ready to call it a fetish.
Oh, okay? Shit. Fair enough.
And still, you still need to buy Catch Pro products regardless of what I say on this podcast.
This
right?
is completely different. No, this is a fucking an entertainment podcast. So you get what you get and you don't get upset. But yeah, anyway, come to my show. You might see fucking Ben trying to get people to piss behind trees or whatever.
No, I said it's not a fetish.
Doesn't mean you don't like it.
Later on, I'm going to get Vicky to just piss in the lounge room in front of me, eh?
In front of the fireplace. So romantic.
On my feet that I burnt. All right.
Continue
with your plug.
All right, so don't forget, go pre-register. Ego are having an after party. Ben's not going to be there, so you can piss anywhere comfortably. It is thumbs up. It's going to be hosted at the Project Brewery after the gates close at fucking 3:30. So we changed the times for this one as well. Like we said, all a learning curve. We got some feedback saying that the day was a little too long. And yeah, we're starting at 9 o'clock, finishing at 3:30, and then off to the Project Brewery, and we'll have some drinks there. Word on the street is Ego are going to do some giveaways at the after party as well. So they are the major sponsor for the day. I'm so grateful that I have these people behind me, Bushranger, Skag, and Ego. These guys have really been so good. Gary from Greenworks has been amazing. The guys at Milwaukee, I have so much support from the industry. There's been a lot of times that, I was speaking to someone yesterday, wasn't getting that much positive feedback from him. He's not, I don't think he's coming along.
Piss on him.
I'll piss on him. Yeah, I'll piss on him and film it for you. But in all honesty, people want this show to succeed, and I'm going to work so hard to make sure that this is the biggest and the best in Australia. It's my dream now. It's my dream.
Go check it out, everybody. 27th at Caribbean Gardens.
Follow the fucking socials. See what we're doing.
And until then, so actually, before you hit the thing, we probably won't have an episode now for 2 weeks or so.
Yep.
But if you definitely send us your feedback for this one.
Yeah. Maybe send Ben some fucking private videos.
No, don't please, if you're a male. And ladies, I'm married.
This might be the last episode we do. Cancelled.
Until then, I'm at Catch Pro. He is at TBL. We're out of time. Thank you.
Don't kink shame.
I actually need to take a piss.
That's hard.